Here I'm going to show you how to feed cows in Farming Simulator 25. So we can see this beautiful Angus that we have here. We have 3 of these in this meadow. And when you start out in the game, this is on the starting farm, Walt's farm. And if you go up to this thing here, you may be getting a little bit confused because it says animals 3, health 0%, brilliant. Food 0 litres, water 0 litres, and then the meadow. Now, what that means is that Meadow will feed the cows to a certain extent, but only 40% kind of efficiency with them. So they should be all right to an extent in there, but if you really want to look after them, you need to feed them properly. And you do that with a thing called TMR, which stands for Total Mixed Ration. And it's a bit of a faff how to make it, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You also need to water the cows. So to do that, I show that in a separate video, but we're talking specifically how to feed cows here. So what you want to be doing is jumping in your trusty tractor and going off to the shop. I'm going to assume you know where the shop is, so I'm going to forward to that location now for you to save you waiting around. So I've got the tractor to the shop. Now there's a couple of things that you could do here. You could buy yourself a front loader vehicle to work with what we need to do here, or you can adapt your existing tractor. I'm just going to show you how to do that because it's pretty easy and it is going to save you a little bit of money by doing that, because we're going to need to load stuff into a big machine and it's going to be easy if we adapt our tractor for this. So over here, if you jump out your tractor, you'll find this place where you can customize your vehicle, so we can attach a front loader to it. So I'm just going to go in here, choose customize, and then on the front loader attacher, I'm just going to add a front loader attacher. So I'm going to go with a quick one here, and then choose customize down the bottom here and go yes. So that is going to mean that my tractor is now capable of loading what we need to load here at the shop. So let's just jump back in here, go back to the shop, and then we'll explain. Or rather, I'll explain. You ain't going to explain to me, are you? You're the one who's confused. I'm going to show you how we sort out that TMR food for our cows so we can feed the cows on the farm. So, we need to buy some goodies. So you need to go to the shop. You can either go to the door there, or the shortcut is P on the PC. Look in your controls if you need the controls on someone else. But if we look in here, under vehicles, we've got front loaders, front loader tools and stuff like that. And for our tractor, we need to add a front loader tool. So if we have a little look on here, you can go with a quick one here. That one's got a 575 kilo limit. We've got a 720 kilo limit here. Or you can go with a John Deere one if you want it to match your John Deere tractor. So I'm going to go with that one there. And we will just go with that one. So I'll double click it, have a little look at it. I want that, my friends. So I'm going to buy it. £9,000. What a bargain. So we get that. We'll choose back here or escape, and then escape again and have a little look at the front loader tools. We're also going to need a bale spike. So we're going to double click that and we'll buy that as well. You could opt to lease it if you want. That's entirely up to you. So we're also going to need some other goodies as well. And if you look over here in the packs under forage, you will find all the things we need. So there is a suggested tractor you could buy, and the front loader and the bale spike. But the other thing we need is this. This is the thing that mixes it all together. A forage mixer wagon. Blends silage, hay, not high, mineral feed and straw into total mixed ration that can be fed to cows. So we're going to need one of those. So we're going to double click on that and buy that. Yes. Now I say you need one of these. If you buy the super duper barn, there is a robot that will mix all the food for you. But it is expensive, that barn. So I'm showing you the way we would deal with our little meadow that we've got. Now, you're free to add what you want to here. If you want to make super duper TMR, you're going to mix all 4 of these. So the mineral feed, the round bale hay, the round bale silage, and the round bale straw wheat. So we're going to buy each of those. So we'll buy this one. Yes. And this one. You can see feeding cows isn't very cheap. So, you know, you need to be thinking whether you really want to get into doing this. But this is how you do it. You asked. I just answer the questions. That's how I work. And then we go for the mineral feed, and we'll double click that one, and we'll buy that one too. Beautiful. Okay, so now what we need to do is put all of that stuff inside that there mixer. So doing this, it can be easier said than done. What we need to do is attach that front loader to our tractor. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you how you load these things in. So we'll go forwards, around here, and because we've attached or rather got the attachments. This should attach perfectly now. So go up to this. When you're in position, you should get that down the bottom middle. Attach tool, so I'll attach that with Q, and I'll reverse back, and I'm going to do the same thing with the bale spike here. So we're going to go here, and then attach that with Q as well. Now, left mouse button, or whatever it shows at the top left for advanced controls, is how you work with this. So I'm holding that and then moving down to lift that bale spike up a bit, so I can then drag forwards, or rather drive forwards, and grab one of these. So we've got these three things that we're going to put in first of all. So we'll go to the first one here, and if you spike it correctly, if you look just below my camera, just above the speedo, we should see something. So this is hay. You have spiked the hay, my friends. So you can also see up by the TMR sort of mixer here, we've got some stuff that is shown, and it's showing us what the mixing ratio is. So we have a little red bar on the left hand side, and we need to put in enough hay to make that look all beautiful. So I'm moving around here, so I'm just above this, and then what you want to do is gently tip this. So again, advanced controls, I hold down the left mouse button, and this time I slide to the right, and just making sure I'm over it. As I do it down, you see it's then gone in there, so you can see we've tipped some stuff in there. So if you look bottom right, that's how much hay I've chucked in. So I'm going to chuck in around 30% hay and see how we go with this. So this is probably going to be a bit of trial and error for you, so you get the right mix, but I've chucked in that amount of hay, and that also means that one bale is going to do you more than one sort of mix of this stuff, so you can sort of play around with this as much as you want. So you can see I've got a lot of mixing ratio there, maybe too much, so we're going to chuck in the next one and see whether we can, you know, fix that a little bit. So we'll chuck this one in. So we'll lift this one up and pop this in. Same sort of process. And what I'm hoping is that that mixed ration is going to sort itself out the more stuff we chuck in. Sorry about that, hey? So we'll go here. I'll try not to crash into the thing. So again, I'm holding the left mouse button and then just looking to... Actually, I've just messed that up. Too far forwards. There we go. So we'll just tilt this in. And now you can see that we're adding that, and then we're getting the mix come here as well. So I'm looking at that thing down the bottom there, the 70%. So I'm going to go probably with that 70. Let's go a little bit more, and that looks all right to me. So we can always add more of this later if we want, but you know, you get the idea of it. It's up to you how you mix this. It's probably an optimum thing, but I don't quite know what it is. I'm sure you can work it out and tell me in the comments if you're so inclined. No doubt there will be a helpful farming simulator expert who will either poo-poo or you know, say my video is okay. I hope they say it's okay. So we get the next one. Look at this one here, the straw, and then we are coming to the one that confuses everyone shortly, which is the mineral feed. Another thing is you don't have to put everything into the feed if you don't want to. So some people say don't worry about the mineral feed because it's expensive. But if you want to make the best food for your cows, you know, you put everything in. So we go forwards again. I'll just tilt this one. And then again, I'm looking at that mix. So you can see the bars there. So we don't want as much of this stuff in there. So we just sort of mix whatever we think is good there. So I'm going to go with that. That's good. And then we'll pop this one down. And then the one that confuses everyone is the next one, the mineral feed, how we add that. The secret is we don't use the bale spike at all. So we'll just do this. So I'll just move away from that. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the bale spike. But I suppose we can leave the bale spike on. Let's just leave it on. You probably don't want to drive around quite like that, though. It looks a bit legal, doesn't it? So I'll just move that up a little bit so I'm not killing anyone with it. So what we're now going to do is attach the TMR trailer to our tractor. So I'll attempt to do this somehow. Like so. Beautiful. And then we're going to go over to where that mineral feed is. And like seeds, you just sort of drive next to it to fill it up with the mineral feed. And if you look on the controls on the left hand side when I'm close enough, you can see I've got that refill mixer wagon. So we only need a little bit of this. So I'm going to press R pretty quick and then just, you know, think about what I want there. So we've got that there. So you can see it's all good now. We've got 36, 38, 20 and 4. And then we can turn that mixer wagon on if we wish. So if I just turn it on, it's mixing it all together. So I'm using turn on, which is B. And my feed looks pretty good now. So we should be good to feed our cows. So I'm going to drive this back to the farm now. And I will meet you there. You could, of course, move all of this stuff to the farm if you've got some sort of loader to transport all the bales. But you get the idea here that we are hopefully all good and we can feed our cows. Just a point of note here, take your time going back to the farm. If you tip this up and mess everything up, you're going to need to do the whole thing again and you'll lose all the materials that you've put in there. So try not to tip your trailer on the way home. Take your time. So now we're back at the farm and we're just going to move this up to our little feeding station here for our little cows and give them the goodies. So as soon as we've moved forward enough, it should give us a little option. So you can see there what you're looking for is that start overloading button up the top left. So if I hit that now, that's I for me, and then it'll overload this into there. So we've put that mixed ration into there, and we'll move away from it. And then if we go and have a little look, we should see, if I jump off of here, that the little moo cows will be happy. And if we have a little look, we now have 3,633 litres of food. We have fed the cows, and you can see our little moo cow is going to come forwards and have a little chomp, hopefully. Let's see. There you go, my friends. That's how to feed the cows in Farming Simulator 25. A point of note about all of the bits that we're putting in there. 3 of those things that we had at the shop, you can actually... Interesting way of eating moo cow. You can actually make those on your farm over time. So, you know, that's going to lower your cost of them overall. There's then the question of whether the mineral feed is really worth it or not, because it's not cheap, but that's the only one you can't produce on your farm over time. But if that helped you out, thumbs up, please. Much appreciated. Any comments, welcome. If you need more help with the game, do let me know with what. I'll try and help in a future video tutorial as well. This channel is all about Farming Simulator 25, and that's it, just Farming Simulator. So if you hit subscribe, that's what you're going to learn about. I hope you find it useful, and thanks for having a little look. Cheers.